Okay, so real quick, if you want to summon on the New Year's banner, this is, I mean, from the biggest whale of all is from the Truth TT. If he says these sales are good, then they're good. I don't have any knowledge of this really. I don't know what makes a good sale or a bad sale, but if he says they're good, they're probably good. That said, I would not suggest summoning on the New Year's characters unless you really, really love Daima. I have been enjoying Daima. I don't really have any criticisms of it. I think it's a fun, different style that is more reminiscent as an homage to Toriyama's legacy. So I don't have any problem with it being what it is. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this isn't hype, or, you know, this is the most hype and they're trying to like overcorrect. I just think it's fun. So if you like these characters, they look like 10th year power creep. They look like the best TURs in the game. They look like if you see people saying that these aren't the best TURs, or at least the top 3, then they probably are doing the agenda push. They're probably doing the like, oh, I don't like Daima, so they can't be good. That doesn't matter to me. I don't care. If they look like the best. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. Glorio's leader skill looks insane. Glorio looks like one of those characters that if you don't pull on one or the other, I'd probably pull on Glorio so that you could have his leader skill for the future. It looks like a great, strong leader skill. It's going to be buffed all year. I think Demonic Power is set up for all year because they just introduced it and it has a lot of coefficients with Daima. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm not pulling. I'm not buying the sales. I said before, I'm low spending. I consider myself basically free to play. I don't buy anything but the subscription. So, but if you're someone who does low spending, I would get in on this. You know, it's a good time. What I would probably do if I'm low spending is buy the sales, save them for anniversary. That's just flat out. But let's get into the rest of the information because Dokkan's having a huge reveal week. The other thing that's really big for Dokkan is it's completely modernizing its battle UI. Not only that, but the sprites. People have been saying for years and years, I've noticed, ever since I first started Dokkan, just, you know, as early as Saiyan Day last year with God Goku, people have been saying, I wish the models were a little higher quality. We've started to see that more and more with a lot of the new Dokkan Fest, but still during like things like the Trio Super Punch, the punch that defeats Broly, people will say, oh, that doesn't look that good, right? You know, they'll say, man, I really wish that the punch that defeats Broly didn't look like that, because you'll see these great animations and then you'll see, you know, dumbass, like Broly's pixel ass, PNG ass animation, and it just kind of takes you out of it. These are great. This is further proof that Dokkan is going to last forever. So to go back to what I was saying in a previous video, if you have any interest in Dokkan, if you have any interest in Dragon Ball, if you can control yourself, because I'd never recommend a gacha to someone who can't control their fucking finances. You know, don't get into gacha if you can't. This is pretty huge. This is pretty huge. This is a safety net. I don't think Dokkan's had much of a safety net. You know, people said, like, famously Omatsu said we have everything planned until the 10th year. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, I wonder what's going to happen come this or that. You know what I mean? Like, Dokkan is finally demonstrating that it doesn't plan on going anywhere. It doesn't plan on going anywhere at all. So, much like with the video I said, hey, it's the best time to get into Dokkan ever right now. It's the best time to get into Dokkan ever. Because it looks like it wants to be here for Dokkan year 20. You know what I mean? Super, as a manga, is coming back, or they just got revealed. Toyotaro looks like he's back in swing. We're seeing advertisements. We're seeing manga accurate attacks and releases in other games being featured in things like Sparking Zero. I think it's time. I think it's time to get back into Dokkan. If you've been off for a while, this is fresh. This is, you know, if you've been gone for a few years, it probably feels like it'll feel like a completely new game once these land. It's going to be over time, but yeah, good time. I do want to also say that these look phenomenal. Like, considering they're kind of piecing together things, you can tell Dokkan is hiding their hand. They're not going full send on Daima yet, because we're obviously going to get LRs. Vegeta is fighting Tamagami 2 right now. You know, spoilers, I guess, but the camera work, the lighting. I saw people saying that they were a little underwhelmed. This is really good. This is really accurate. The effects look great. There's like, looks like some impact frames or like some hollowing out on the animation there for Goku getting hit. This charge up is like the camera swinging and moving, the lighting. I think like last year, the actual like bang impact isn't as flashy. Like this could be a bit more explosive, but to say that's not good is cap. 1 second. And speaking of gorgeous, the Goku one especially is different. I think Glorio is currently looking like the better character, but this looks phenomenal, dude. This is one of the best. I think this is one of the best flat out transformations that Dokkan has right now. It looks great. Something about the hair being very active in it. Something about these angles again, kind of coming from above him. Goku being very like fluid and active. He's moving around a lot. A lot of the freezes. I don't know. This looks so good. This looks so good and is a great demonstration of why Daima looks so good and why it's so exciting that we could be getting like another like extension of Super or something else. Like this is like radiant, dude. Like what the hell? Like what were they fucking thinking dropping this? And the fact that they saved the elbow as the finisher just because you know they want to use it for the Tamagotchi, the inevitable like LR Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Goku is great choice by them. Great choice. I think this is, if you're a Goku fan, I mean, it's really hard to avoid pulling on this guy, right? Like, this looks great. And the last thing I want to end this off with is just talking about the potential EZAs for New Year, because people said that the Super Saiyan 3 Goku in 2021, the one at the bottom here, is on the 200%. This Kid Buu is on the 200%. And because we might be getting them now, that Super Vegito somehow cannot come for the 10th anniversary. And like I said, I think that there is a pattern and Blue Vegito will be there. But I think also the pattern is kind of looking like fusions in general. So I think we're going to get a Super Vegito, a Blue Vegito, a Super Gogeta, and a Blue Gogeta. Or something like that. It doesn't really matter what. I think we're going to get a Super Gogeta from the Z era though. Because they did Super Gogeta from Super last year, obviously. The reason none of this is disqualified, because let's look at the characters I named there. Obviously the 2 LRs from the 7th year getting EZA'd. Duh. The other thing that's going to happen though is they could do this Gogeta. They could do this Gogeta. They could do this Janemba. They could do these 2 fusions. Or not fusions, 2 Super Saiyan 4s. They could do GT. They could split it between like Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and GT with a GT celebration. They could do this android. They could do just any combination of things, essentially. We don't know what's going to happen for the 10th anniversary, right? Ultimately, when they drop these fusions, because it's going to be fusions, because why wouldn't it? They could EZA this Vegeta here, the Majin Vegeta, because obviously it's like, well, they won't do it until they EZA something for 2022. This is the 10th anniversary. We have no idea what they're going to do. You know, they could pull a Majin character from this side easily. Right? So I don't really think it's worth thinking too hard about whether or not like this deconfirms something because they need to EZA like these 2 Dokkan Fests from the Majin Buu saga to get them on demonic power and what have you. I just don't think Dokkan cares for the 10th anniversary. I think they're just going to try to do as much as come play now content. I think we can see the Z, the encapsulation of like Z, and they could do the Frieza and Goku as people have suspected. It's just so, there's just so much. There's so much it could do. It could be a saga from movie. It could be a movies thing with like Gogeta and them doing like some movie characters. It could just be 4s. It's up in the air, and ultimately it kind of doesn't matter. They're just gonna make sure the characters are on the teams. They're gonna EZA them. They're gonna maybe do this Kefla, right? They could do this Kefla. This fuses into Kefla. That matches the theme. This PyCon, Gogeta appears in the background and fuses. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to find a way to get these characters on teams, and it does not matter how that happens. And it does not matter if you're like, oh, it's not like directly on theme. I don't think they care about arcs. The 8th year anniversary's theme was Power of Wishes. You know what I mean? They don't care about arcs. I think they have plenty of material to pull from. We'll see what happens. Don't worry too much. And remember to keep saving. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to join the club. We all go make it. Peace.